Do you see the caption on that picture?
Yes.
What is the caption on that picture?
We in Houston with this S word.
Okay. And are there emojis next to it?
Yes.
And are you able to tell what those emojis are?
Snake emojis.
All right. And what's the date and time of this post?
9:43 p.m. 3/22/2015.
Okay. And in looking at that post, are you able to identify any of the individuals in that post?
Yes.
Okay. If you can permission for witness to step down?
Yeah.
All right. And using this, the monitor board, you can just tell the jurors.
There should be a pointer somewhere and a laser
Oh,
pointer.
I got it. Just who you are able to identify in that post.
The BPN, Darlington, Shannon Stillwell, Kelvin Treadwell, aka OG Bidley, Fontavious Stevens, aka Tick, Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug. That's Demise McMullen, aka Nard. That is Antonio Sledge, aka Wintu. I'm not sure which sister this is. It's one of Williams' sisters. I don't know which one. He has a couple. I don't know who that is or that is.
Okay. Thank you. And did you say that the tour made a stop in Houston around that date?
Yes.
So based on this picture and the tour dates, is it fair to say that at least for this date in March, some people associated with YSL was in Houston, Texas?
Yes.
Now I want to go to what's been marked as defense, I think Williams 220. And what we're going to do is we're going to scroll through defense exhibits 220A through XX. And as we scroll down, I want you to tell me the dates that are in January. Okay. And as you're looking at the dates here, and you can slow down a little. As you're looking at the dates, are these dates, let me know first, do they appear to be in chronological order?
I can't tell. My screen is not.
Is there a paper copy of this exhibit?
Right.
Would it be easier to let the witness look at the paper copy?
Well,
Unless I can make my screen a little bigger, because it's kind of minimized.
and as I'm looking for the paper copy, if it's easier to turn around and look at the bigger screen to see if you can see the dates on the bigger screen.
I mean, I can see the date on here. It's just the actual window is not as big, I guess.
That's as big as it is on anybody's.
Yeah, that part is not. Is that all? Yeah, that one needs to be bigger.
But are you able to see the dates on the flyers?
I can.
Okay, we'll just keep scrolling until I can find the paper copy.
Okay.
Do they appear to be in chronological order as well?
Yes.
fine, Miss Hilton. Y'all sorted out the issue with her
Yeah,
not being able
I
to
can,
see.
I can see the
so
dates
she
on the
can see
flyers.
it.
It's just kind of smaller than what it probably should be.
And are these flyers now in the month of November?
Yes.
And now these flyers starting in December.
Yes.
Are we now in January?
We are in January.
Okay. Is this the first one in January?
Yes.
What's the date of this post?
January 18th, 2015.
And sorry, going back to this post, where is this show located? Supposed to be performed?
Like I said, Tampa, Florida. At the bottom, maybe.
Okay. Is this another one in January?
Yes,
What's the-
January 21st.
And is that in 2015?
Yes.
Where is this supposed to be performance?
She moved it up a little. It looked like Santa Ana, California.
Are we still in January?
We in February now.
Okay.
on this
And I just want to keep scrolling down, see if we see anything else for January.
No, it's still February.
Now, I asked you earlier about the rodeo tour, remember?
You did.
Do you see Defense Exhibit 220 KK?
Can she roll it up just a little, maybe? Okay.
And remember earlier I asked you who was on that tour?
Okay.
Who's on that tour, that rodeo tour?
Travis Scott and Young Thug.
And that's the same tour that's in the book that we just referenced a few moments ago?
Yes.
And where the group was in Houston, or where the tour stopped in Houston in March of 2015?
Yes.
Now, are we in March?
Yes.
Okay. Are we now in April?
Yes.
And are we now in June?
Yes.
And is that the 220XX, that the last of the exhibit?
Yes.
Were the only two January flyers January 18th and January 21st, 2015?
I think so.
Okay.
It wasn't very many January.
All right. Did you see any flyers for January 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, or 15th?
No.
Did you see any flyers in Miami for the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, or 15th?
No.
Have you ever been to Tampa, Florida?
Yes.
Have you been to Miami, Florida?
Yes.
Do you know about how far the distance is between Miami and Tampa?
I haven't driven them. I know from Georgia, where my house, south of Atlanta, it was like 10 hours when we drove to Miami, but I have driven to Tampa, it was like 6 hours.
Okay. So from Atlanta to Tampa was 6, from Atlanta to Miami was 10.
Right.
Now, in 2015, immediately following the death of Donovan Thomas, were there social media posts that appeared to threaten members of YSL?
Yes.
Can you describe to the jury the type of posts those types of posts?
Objection. Hearsay, best evidence rule.
Sustained as to best evidence.
Have you seen pictures of those types of posts?
Yes.
Permission to approach?
You may.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as Stacey Exhibit 546 Yankee. Do you recognize Stacey Exhibit 546 Yankee?
Yes.
How do you recognize Stacey Exhibit 546 Yankee?
I recognize it because back during the Operation Planners investigation, we actually had a war room at APD.
Objection, Your Honor. To the
See the
discussion about the
terminology?
war room.
Don't take anything from the fact that they called it a war room.
It was like our meeting room.
I understand.
And we put all our pictures on the wall involving the Operation Planners investigation. So we would collect social media posts and we would put them all that was related to the actual investigation on the wall. So we had this particular one on our wall.
Okay. And does that appear to be a fair and accurate depiction of the one of the posts that you had on your wall?
Yes.
Your Honor, this time I say what I intend to say Exhibit 546Y into evidence.
Object under foundation and authenticity. Just because it's put on a wall does not mean where it was posted or found.
All right, sustained, but you may establish a foundation if you can.
Where were these posts?
On social media.
Okay. And was there a particular name or social media account that were posting these type of threatening posts?
Yes, it was named.
It's a reading from a document, not an evidence.
Sustained.
We're looking at that refresh your memory as to what the name of the post was. Just look at it. If it refreshes your memory, look up when you finish.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
The name of the actual account was Death to the Stake, N-words.
And were there multiple posts on that website that you all gathered back in 2015 from
Yes.
that website? And is that one of those posts?
Yes, it is.
All right.
Your Honor, I'm going to maintain my objection, which was the same as Mr. Steele's, regarding the authenticity and foundation behind these posts.
Okay, overruled at this
and-
point. Go ahead.
My objection is we're talking about the collective, we did this, we did that, and I don't believe that this witness is the proper foundation for these posts. I don't believe this witness collected them.
Did y'all work together as a team to collect or view social media in order to assist with your investigation in this case?
Yes, we work as a collaborative group between Atlanta PD Gang Unit and ATF.
And as a part of this, is this one of the posts that you saw on social media at the time in which you all were investigating Operation Planters?
Yes,
And was this pulled from the site that you saw on social media?
yes.
All right, it's admitted.
Permission to publish, Your Honor.
You may.
And what was the nature of what the post would say? So not specifically, but what was the nature of the post when you all were pulling? And let me answer that question. What made this of interest to the Atlanta Police Department?
I'll object to that phraseology. First, it would be hearsay, and then talking for other people. I will.
Sustained.
What was the nature of the post?
The nature,
Overruled.
actually, there were threats coming in right after Donovan Thomas's murder from this particular social media site, and it was towards only members of YSL. So it was significant for that reason.
Thank you. Now, after 2015, did you all continue to look at social media even after 2015?
Yes,
Specifically, I want to direct you to 2019. Did you have the occasion to look at a post of an individual standing on a car?
yes.
Permission to approach?
You may approach the witness freely.
Thank you. I'm going to show you what's been marked as Stacey did a 3TT. Without telling me what is contained in the picture, is that a picture that you've seen previously?
Yes,
And where did you first see this picture?
on social media.
And
Your Honor, I'm going to object to the authentication and foundation of this photograph. I don't think that this detective has the personal knowledge of who took the photo, who posted it. Whoever posted the photo should be the one laying the foundation.
Overruled. Go ahead.
And specifically talking about the picture itself, what was of significance, without saying what's in the picture, what was of significance of the picture itself?
Significance was disrespect from one gang to another.
Okay. And
Your Honor, I'm going to object to that response and ask it to be struck. That is beyond 24-7-704B. Talks about the significance of somebody's state of mind.
Sustained.
as a gang investigator, what was of note in that exhibit?
There was an individual standing on a vehicle.
Okay. And the vehicle, who did it belong to?
Objection. Calls for speculation.
If it's within her knowledge, don't speculate.
It was Rayshawn Bennett's vehicle, YFN Lucci.
Okay. And the person on the vehicle, were they a member of, okay, were they
Why?
associated with a rival gang of YFN Lucci's?
Yes.
Okay.
Same
And
objection, Your Honor. There's been no foundation laid for how this detective has knowledge about someone's affiliation.
Actually, yeah, there has. Overruled.
And was that of note when you all first saw this picture back when you first saw it?
Yes.
You know, this time the state would like to admit Stacey Exhibit 3TT into evidence.
3 TT?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right, it's admitted.
Permission to publish.
You may.
Now, looking at Stacey Exhibit 3TT, is the car that you were just referencing this blue Maybach?
Yes.
All right. And was it of note of the individual standing on the vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know who that individual is?
Diamante Kendrick.
Okay. And again, was this posted on social media?
Yes, it was.
All right. As a gang expert, is there some significance of a person associated with YSL standing on top of a vehicle with someone associated with YFN?
It is significant.
Your Honor, I'll object under 24-7-74B about the significance of somebody's mental state.
All right, I don't understand it to be asking that question. Overruled.
What, if any, significance is that as a gang investigator when you see a post such as this?
It showed the, like I said earlier, the disrespect between, I felt like that this particular,
In your opinion,
in my opinion, this is a sign of.
Just a second.
Okay.
Your Honor, it's also calling for her to have.
She's been qualified as an expert,
I understand, but she's just because she's an expert doesn't mean she knows someone else's mental state.
and she's not testifying to their mental state. Overruled. Go ahead.
Working as a gang investigator and dealing with different actual rivalries and, you know, the gang problems that we have had in the city. When we saw this particular post, we saw that it was like a gang member taking a shot at another gang member by standing on his vehicle outside of one of our malls here in Georgia.
and what mall was this?
Lennox.
Okay. Now, we've spoken about this term gang culture. Can you just briefly explain to the jury, when we talk about gang culture, what, if anything, are we referencing when we talk about that term gang culture?
I think of gang culture as the behaviors, the actual gang showing their characteristics, may it be whether they're displaying their hand signs, their colors, their tattoos, and just their way of life as gang members.
Can music be a part of gang culture?
Yes.
How?
A lot of the gang members, especially here in Atlanta, uses music to express themselves. They kind of, you know, talk about where they came from, how they came from it, things that they've done, their lifestyle in the music.
Do gang members sometimes use music to promote violence and fear of their gang?
Yes.
How?
Hypothetically, if gangs are beefing and even if they're local and they know that they listen to each other's music, they would take a shot. One gang would take a shot at another gang by saying disrespectful things or just letting them know that they are actually targeting them or talking to them through the words that they use.
Do gang members use music to promote allegiance to their gang?
They do.
How?
They brag about their gang. They glorify their gang. They glorify their gang members. They show the, like you said, alliances. It could be a blood gang that's, really, really friendly with a Crip gang here in Georgia, and they will actually shout them out in music.
Do gang members use music to send messages to rival gangs?
They do.
How?
They send messages, indirectly, maybe directly, just, they might say, I saw you at the club, or I jumped you at the club, and you are this gang, and they might call out that particular gang in the song, or they may not.
Do gang members sometimes use music to send messages to other members of the same gang?
I just want to note as a way of an objection under 704B, I believe this is all a person's mental state.
All right, I don't think that anything I've heard so far is in contravention of 704B. You may have a continuing objection.
Do gang members sometimes use music to send messages to other members of the same gang?
Yes.
And do gang members use music to send messages to promote cohesiveness?
Counsel, could you slow down reading?
Sorry. Do gang members use music to send messages to promote cohesiveness with their fellow gang members?
They do.
In your experience, what genre of music do gang members use to promote their gang?
Just from my experience, being here and working here in Atlanta for over 30 years, I've only seen the gang members use rap music.
Does it always have to be rap music?
It don't always have to be, but that's what I've seen over my career.
As a gang investigator, do you focus on music and hope that it leads to an investigation, or do you focus on the investigation and it may lead to music?
Sustained.
I'll ask first. As an investigator, do you focus on music?
No,
What do you focus on?
the crime at hand and the actual person that committed the crime.
And are there times in your investigation that music may become part of your investigation?
Yes,
How is that?
because if it's a particular person that was maybe a singer or a rapper or whatever that may have committed a crime, that us looking at the crime, me looking at the particular crime will kind of lead me back to the music portion, or if they're a rapper, or if they, like a lot of gang members here in Atlanta, they call themselves rappers, but they're like studio gangsters, or they just put music out on YouTube. So even if they're not as big as most rappers, we still pay attention to what they're saying, the drill music that's going on, and because a lot of time it does lead to violence.
And you said drill music. What is that?
Drill music is kind of something new where the rappers, they kind of talk about, they rap about violence, and they mostly target, the rival or the ops in that particular music. And it's really fast and really, they actually, like I said, talk about violence, talk about firearms, talking about drive-by shootings. And that's been popular here in Atlanta as of recent.
And as you're listening to the music, are you, in your mind, thinking about your investigation and whether or not there are particular words in the music that match your investigations?
It depends. Every investigation is different. So if we do listen to it just to see if we can get any kind of, I guess, maybe confessions. Sometimes it's confessions in music, or any kind of thing that is said that relates back to our investigation.
Okay. Now, as an expert, I want to ask you a couple hypotheticals. If you heard a gang member sing a country song about putting 100 rounds in a Tahoe, and that song comes out a year after a rival gang member was gunned down while standing near his Chevy Tahoe, and that Tahoe was hit multiple times with bullets, would you consider that song in furtherance of the gang that gunned down that rival gang member?
Sustained.
Would that be consistent with something that's in furtherance of the gang? Not if you say
Overruled.
Like I said, each case is different, but if a country artist did do that and that country artist was a gang member, then yes, we would look at that gang member furthering the gang in that particular song.